This is one of many beautiful pages in Magical Jungle. This is the tiger page, and I thought this page would be very nice to use as a tutorial about building background when it comes to the darker tones and colors. If you have been watching my video about the double page in Secret Garden, which I call Arabian Night, then you can see how I build a dark blue background, but I didn't show you how I start, so I would like to show you that too. So I will start with this one, Prussian Blue. It is from the Polychroma series. And these first layers of color do not need to be very precise. There's a chopper coming. I paused the video because it was a trauma chopper and it was flying right over our home with a lot of noise. I now change colors to dark indigo, also polychromas. If you have Prismacolor Premieres, you can use those for the first layers as well. They go very fast. I had a phone call, maybe you heard it on the video. So I decided to move inside. I was coloring in my garden, but it got a little bit chilly. So I am indoors now. So these first layers don't have to be very precise. It's just adding color. And this is exactly the way how I started the Arabian Night drawing in Secret Garden. So it really doesn't look very fancy. It's just like this. The only thing I am aware of that I do not color outside the lines. I try to avoid that as much as possible. But if it happens, no problem. Use your eraser. And then just move on. Now I'll show you Arabian Night next to this area, and then you can see how things evolve. So on the right you can see the very first layer, and then eventually as you start adding and adding and endless adding of more layers, then this is going to happen. And this Arabian Night in Secret Garden is far from finished, but I will show you in this drawing how you started doing it. And let's switch colors again. Bruinzeel Royal Blue. In Arabian Night I used dark blues, dark purples and black. And I think with this tiger I will change the palette a little bit. I will change the purples. I don't think I will use purples, but instead I want to use greens. So that's the only thing that I change. And I will show you in a minute. And you know, this paper in Magical Jungle is wonderful. It is the way it takes the color. It is magical. Very good paper. As soon as the Dutch version is available of Magical Jungle, I will go to the shop and see whether the paper in the Dutch version is the same as I have in this US version. I have the Penguin version, published by Penguin. Joanna Besford sent it to me. I'm so grateful for that. I have been coloring with Faber-Castell Polychromos, and now I will use a Prismacolor Premier Peacock Green. They are very handy for especially the first layers, when you don't need to be very precise. With the precision work, I absolutely prefer Faber-Castell Polychromos. I think when it comes to precision, Polychromos is the master. I also have a couple of luminance pencils by Caran d'Ache, but just a flake of the point of the sharp point just snips off with these soft wax-based pencils. Luminance is soft wax-based. My Bruinzeel designs are soft wax-based. And Prismacolor Premiers are extremely soft wax-based pencils. And especially the Prismacolor Premiers, they lose their point when you want to use it in a very sharp with Polychromos, that just doesn't happen. My phone did something that I wasn't planning while coloring this. An alarm, a reminder went off on my phone. I intend to do a lot of things today. This is Prussian Green by Prismacolor. Yes, I tend to do a lot today. And because I am a little bit chaotic, I tend to get distracted when I'm doing a task or a chore or whatever. And then in the end of the day, I've done a lot, but not what I intended to do. So I made a list and I put them in my phone, all those chores. Well, it's not exactly chores. One of them was start drawing the tiger in Magical Jungle. But I'm doing great because I am ahead of my schedule. Now for these first layers, you can use any color you want. And that is to say, you can choose any green and blues you want if you want to copy my color choice. I'm now going for this one, dark green Prismacolor again, and I'm just creating a patchwork. Yes, a patchwork of blues and greens, and I think I will use a little bit of browns too, but not yet. Just do this first. And when the layers are light, you can add many colors on top of it. This is so joyful. So now I will go back to the blues, and well, because these pencils are so fast, let's pick another Prismacolor Premier. China Blue. And if I am using a pencil brand that you do not have, don't worry. Just pick your own pencils and use all the mid and dark tones of the colors you would like to use. So the mid blues, this blue that I'm using right now is not extremely dark, so it's just it's not a light blue, but just a medium blue. And the same goes for the greens. And then eventually you will get a result similar to what I'm getting. I am not using very sharp points at this point, really not necessary. And this is the last Prismacolor Premier that I will use, Violet Blue. So let's pick another pencil brand. This is Irojiten Hydrangea Blue, and this is, if there is an opposite of the softness of Prismacolor Premier, then Irojiten is one of the opposites, because it is a very hard pencil. But it is a pretty good pencil. I have to admit, I don't use my Irojitens as much as I thought I would use them. Now, I only have 30 pencils, so I have a limited palette. And I think my way of coloring prefers the slightly softer leads, the softer pencils. But this pencil, this Irojiten Hydrangea Blue, is a great pencil to pull things together a little bit. Very light layer. You know, and with these Irojitens, I have to admit, when I see pencils that look beautiful, and I have to say, the way these pencils look, I think they are the most beautiful pencils. One of the most beautiful pencils that I know. Just the font of the Irojiten here, the brand, the way it is packaged, the package it is, and I just had to have, I became very greedy, and I waited a long time buying them, because I had already the suspicion that I wouldn't be using them so often, and that came true. That suspicion came true. But once in a while I'll pick them up and no. Now this Hydrangea Blue has something in it that looks a little bit purple or grayish. It is a color that is hard to describe. For some reason, my camera was having some troubles focusing, but I think things are better now. Oh, by the way, I am using a Caran d'Ache Luminance Prussian Blue. And again, I am coloring without a very sharp point. Not necessary at this point. Really not. I know there are people who really want their pencils to be very sharp at all times. And if that works for you, then that is of course the way you should do it. But these first layers for me really don't need that much precision. So, if we take a step back, then this is the result of what we did so far. And dozens of layers will follow. I think I will add at least 10 layers. And I am sure there will be areas where I will put on 20 layers if the paper will hold. And well, I would love to show you the process. So see you next time. Bye bye.